Hi everybody, it's Linda from Joyful Makes and Finds. I'm back to show you my third and final strawberry journal, and it is made from a vintage Reader's Digest. So it is a full-size journal with two big signatures, and it's kind of chunky and lots of fun. So I did a little collage on the cover, and my favorite piece is this bit of needlepoint, and I just found it at an estate sale, and I cut the strawberry out of it and attached it here, and then created a little collage behind it with this vintage tag and a faux bingo card. I covered the spine with some lace and used sari silk for the ties. So let's take a look inside. As I said, it has two signatures. I created a side pocket with fabric that I used to cover the spine on the inside. I've never done that before, but it was kind of fun. And I tucked inside this vintage current little post-it note with this cute squirrel eating a strawberry. There's a little bulb pin here with a charm that says made with love, and this vintage fabric is flocked. So these little strawberries on there are fuzzy. It's just a wonderful fabric. Okay, and then this is a digital. I will credit all digitals in the description box. This is some of the paper that I hand dyed with this was Easter egg dye, and then I have some paper that I hand dyed with strawberry Kool-Aid. And it does smell a little bit if you put your nose on it, the strawberry Kool-Aid paper. So I created this fun pocket here and just put a guest check in there that I decorated a little bit. And it's a little bit of a peekaboo pocket. So this guest check, you can kind of see show through there. And it's not exactly a pocket, it's really more of a tuck. I left this side open so that you could get things in and out of it easily. It's a little short page, coffee dyed paper. This is a page from a vintage cookbook for Italian strawberry ice, strawberry shortcake, non-fat strawberry dessert, fresh strawberry pie. This is some very vintage dotted Swiss stationery, a paper bag, and I just put this little folded over a piece of that flocked fabric there, and inside of here is, actually this is just the fly leaf from the actual vintage Reader's Digest that I used for this book. So I just thought that might be fun to tuck in there. I usually save any pages of interest, and I just don't think about using them. So I thought that would be just a little fun bit of vintage ephemera to add. Okay. And this is a digital. And then on this back side, I just put a vintage bingo card that I just put a little, one of my handmade strawberries in the center, and there is a paper clip holding this on with a strawberry charm on there. This is the pink dyed paper that I told you about, that I used the strawberry Kool-Aid. Some coffee dyed loose leaf. This is a page from a English garden embroidery book, and for summer it had a page of strawberries. I thought that was wonderful to add in here. This is the center of the signature. This is some scrap paper, and then on the center of, on the ends of these signature ties, I added, it's a little glass strawberry bead, little artwork bead, and a little crystal, little flower. So some pretty coordinating beads there. Lots of room for journaling in here. This is the back side of that embroidery. And then there's a little pocket, or a little tuck here. It's a kind of an over the page, and it comes completely off. This is a vintage, really cute recipe for strawberry shortcake, and it'll hold a whole lot of journaling or whatever on the back side. And I just tucked it in here. This is the flap of an envelope that actually, let's turn the page. This envelope will come off, and there is a double journal card inside of it. So this just tucks over the page like so, and then I just held it on with this paper clip with some of this is actually dyed seam binding that I made using the Easter egg die. And then paper clip will also hold that journaling paper in there as well. Okay, so this is a multi-folded pocket. And I put some vintage ephemera in here. This is an old page from a address and telephone book that I dyed with the strawberry Kool-Aid. And then this was a page from this Reader's Digest book. Or this one may not be from this book, but maybe from a previous Reader's Digest book. And I dyed it with the Easter egg die. I thought that was kind of a fun look. And a little bit of vintage ephemera on this card. And then a little vintage slide that I made this little decoration out of. You could journal a little bit on the back, or you could put a magnet on there and put it on your refrigerator, or add it to a card, or decorate a page with it, put a paper clip on it, and use it as an altered paper clip in this journal. So I just thought I'd tuck it in and leave the options open. Okay, this is the back side of the paper bag, and it just has a really sweet notebook paper for journaling that has some strawberries on it. I tried, since this got pretty chunky, it has a lot of pages, I tried to keep a lot of the ephemera fairly flat. Okay, and then this is a fold-out envelope here. And on the back side of the envelope, I created this tuck spot with this little collage. And then there's a little notepad here with some pink and green paper and a little decoration on the top. Just tucks right in there. And then this folds out, and inside of the envelope is a double recipe card that you could also use for journaling if you so desire. Just goes right in the envelope here. And then on this side, I created just a little tuck spot and tucked a vintage tally piece in there. Made this little collaged cluster there. Okay. And then on the back side of the envelope, there's another little tuck spot, and I just tucked another little writing place in there. It says focus on the good. I tried not to over decorate, so I left plenty of things for you to decorate yourself, and there's, like, as I said, lots and lots of room for journaling in here. There's a cute little tuck spot from a little teacup die cut there, and a recipe, really pretty recipe card. This is between the two signatures. The first page of the signature, I just made kind of a cluster pocket there, and I made a little piece of stationery. I used some rubber stamps and this cute little strawberry girl here, little fairy. Some writing paper. This is the strawberry Kool-Aid dyed paper that I used a pan with holes in it. I just love that polka dot effect that it gave. This is some vintage ledger. And then I have another fold out envelope in the second signature here. And this is the envelope flap over the page. I made a little cluster there, and then I attached this really old photograph. It says June 1943, and it's got this girl standing in front of her, what looks like maybe her backyard garage back in the day. So it looks like strawberry season there. Could even be some strawberry bushes back there. And then this little old ephemera piece that says Florida Strawberry Festival, February 9th through March 5th, seems early, 1960. In Plant City, Florida. That's probably why. I live in St. Louis, so our strawberries don't come until May and June, really more like June. So this envelope is over the pocket here, over the page. And I did attach a paper clip there to help hold the photo in, and then the journal card there. So this is one of my dyed envelopes, and I put this, I've had this strawberry postcard in my stash for a really long time. And I just love it. It's very artsy. So I just tuck that in there. And then on this side, I created a belly band on the back of this envelope, and I put a handmade tag that's embossed. It says vintage buttons, and I sewed a variety of vintage buttons from my stash on there. And then on the back of this is where I did my signature, Made with Love by Linda Smith, Joyful Makes and Finds 2025. So I'm trying to do this in each of my journals now, making a kind of a special tag. So I've been putting these in some of my journals lately. People really seem to enjoy the vintage button cards, the handmade ones. So that was kind of fun. And these are both hand dyed, seam binding and ribbon there. Oh, so I did, as I said, I attached this paper clip. It's not really necessary, but it's helpful, especially so I don't lose anything while I'm in the process of making. I just kind of attached it like that. Okay, I hope I'm not like out of frame, moving around too much. If I am, I apologize. This is the back side of that strawberry. Oh no, there's a page in each signature. I'm sorry, this is the page from the vintage cookbook that also has the strawberries. And a little short here, a couple of little shorts. This is a little paper bag, and inside it has a strawberry green tea bag for you to enjoy. It's got the tea in it, as I put in all of my journals. It's a little treat. This is a page of coffee dyed and stenciled paper. This is a doily, a large doily that I folded and then sewed into the signature. And inside of it, I tucked this very vintage page from a trading or a collecting, what do you call those? Stamps, from back in the day. These are cook stamps from a stamp book. My mom never collected. I found this at an estate sale. Cook stamps were not anything that my mom ever collected. We collected top value stamps and eagle stamps mostly. And then this is another page from the book, the English Garden Embroidery book that has more strawberries and summertime motifs. It's a little short page that I created a pocket here and put this little bit of vintage ephemera journaling card there. The center of the second signature, and on the signature ties of these, I put these strawberry charm and a little crystal and a pearl. And then I created on the back side of this embroidery page, I used this very old flocked vintage fabric and just made a fabric flip and put some really pretty strawberry applique trim. Now underneath here you can journal, or if you prefer you could also glue some lined paper or some coffee dyed paper or whatever to that if you wanted to, but I just wanted to leave it so that you could see the original page of embroidery and do with it as you'd like. And then here is the back side of the embroidery and the back side of the doily pocket, and inside I just tucked this cover of a cute little strawberry notebook, and it's got lots of room for journaling on the back. The back side of the little paper bag, and inside I tucked, this is the wrapper that came around the needlepoint piece that I used for the cover. So this is where that needlepoint piece came from, printed in Portugal, but this actually came off of that strawberry embroidery, and I just thought it would be fun to add to the pocket here. Keep with the journal. Okay, more strawberry dessert recipes. And here is a fun, this is from the Graphics Fairy, the journaling card with fresh strawberries. And then on this pocket I created an over the page fabric pocket. So there's a large fabric pocket on either side. Okay, well, we're getting to the end here. This is the last page. I had some fun with this. I had dyed this envelope. It's a business envelope, and it has a pocket, a window on each side, and I dyed it with the Kool-Aid. It came out very interesting here. So inside of this little pocket, I made a shaker. So there's sequins and little flowers and this adorable little girl that shakes there. Behind it is a pocket. I just tucked a little red card in there that you can use for journaling or for decorating. And then on the back side, in this window envelope, I made a tag with some decoupage napkin and some really pretty strawberry ribbon. And this one goes into this pocket. And then tucked behind it is a page from a vintage Greg shorthand textbook. And I just made this floating pocket tuck, and just with a paper clip there. So just thought that was kind of a fun, different element. And then the very back, and it also, the back has that fabric pocket as well, and I just tucked another recipe card in there. And that is it. The back just has some lace. And this is it. So it is listed in my Etsy shop, Joyful Makes and Finds, and there is a link in the description box that takes you right to the listing for the journal, a link that goes to my shop, and links to all of the digitals that I used. I've got some more videos coming up. I'm working on some things to make in May. I want to try to participate in a challenge that Kathleen Maurer put out there. So you should be seeing me about next week or so. I haven't started my next journals yet, but I have a pretty good idea of what they're going to be, and we're going to start working on them kind of together in a couple of Make It videos. So I hope this was enjoyable for you. If you enjoyed watching the flip through, please give me a like, a thumbs up. Any feedback or comments that you give are always so very appreciated, as well as any time that you spend watching. So have a wonderful day. Take care, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.